Now selection of site for thermal power plant, or we can say where the thermal power plant is located. What is the sites where we can so it is located. So which facility should be available for the thermal power plant. So first we can say the transportation network. So we can say here over here there is a easy access of the transportation facility for the thermal power plant, because there is in thermal power plant there is something which are daily needs, some we can say fuel, water and all these things. So your plant should be located near to the highways, rails and airports, so we can easily transport the requirement daily needs with the help of this. So transport network should be easily available during this all this thing. Second one is the power transmission network. So your system, your plant should be located in such a area where power transmission should be easily done, because after the completion of the construction of the site, then the power is produced, this power is transmitted to the region where it is needed. So there is some area we can say there is no forest area, no hill area, where we can say we are not easily transport the facility or power, and that's why the power station should be located at that area where this constraint should be negligible, or we can say eliminated. So power transmission network should be easily located, and we can transmit the power should be required area as easy as possible. Then we can say geological and soil type. So your soil where, or your area where you locate your power plant should be should be made up with the oil and rock layers, because the soil is not made up with this such a layers, then if we made up with this we can say very soft, then it does not sustain the weight and vibrations. So your power is located at that area should be construct, or we can say it is made up with the rock layer, so it can easily sustain the weights and vibrations which are produced the different components of the power plant. So this is the geological and soil type benefits must be there. And then can say topography. It is the proof that high elevation has negative effect of production of the efficiency of the gas turbine power plant. So topography is very important, because you can't locate the gas turbine power plant at high elevation, because if the elevation is high, the air becomes low pressure. So due to the low pressures it become very thin, and that's why we can't use this air for the power production, or we can say the efficiency of this gas turbine is reduces. So this is the topographically advantage should be there. In addition, the changing of the sloping area into the flat sites construction for the power plants needs extra budget. So if you locate it at the hill area, or we can say very height, at the heighted area, at that time if you transport something, then you should make some roads, and this roads should be done by making the slope area to the very flat. So extra budget should be needed to construct the road in this height area. So this is the tropical benefit must be there. The area should be very flat, and it is we can say on the sea level, so we can easily get the air and all requirements. Then we can say earthquake and geological faults. So even weak and small earthquake can damage many parts of the power plant intensively. So your plant should not be near to this area where frequently the earthquake or the shocks are continuously run, because it may damage your different components of the plant intensively, and that's why you should must stop the plant and maintain it. So it's very not easy to do such a things continuously. So your area is very far away, or we can say your plant should be located in such a way that there is no effects of the earthquake and other geological faults. Then after we can say water resources. So we know the for thermal power plant the continuously waters are required. So your plant should be located near the bank of river and sea, so we can easily extract the water from it, and easily we can run our plant. So water should be sufficiently available, it is must require environmental resources, so far enough from the national park, wildlife and protected areas, etc. Because if it is, we know during the combustion of the fuel inside the power plant, there is so many greenhouse gases are produced, or we can say some carbon dioxide, sulfur dioxide, this such a damage gases are produced, and this is affects on the wildlife, humans and other national parks, trees even. So should be locate your plant away from this such a areas. Maintain the distance between this life and plant. Then after pollution centers, so enough distance from the pollution centers, because the plant we can't locate near the cities, because where the human beings are there. So if the pollutions are created much more and it is goes to the atmosphere, this affects the health of the humans being. So we should maintain or keep the manage the distance between the human cities areas and the plant. So it's a very important thing. So pollution center should be such a distance will be maintained. Climate parameters such as temperature, humidity, wind direction, speed affects the productivity of the power plant. So this is the parameters, environmental parameters, which we say continuously affects on the power plant. So should be measure this thermodynamical parameters, or we can say these parameters before start or before going with this construction of the plant, because it is much more affects on this on the working of the power plant. So before going to construct this parameter should be checked, and it's not up to the we can say going to be beyond the limit. If this, then we can choose such a area where so much temperature, humidity and wind is flow, because it affects the working of this power plant. So this is the few list of the parameters which affects on the construction and working of this power plant, thermal power plant, but we can see the much more. So this is all about the site selection for the power plant. Now if we think about the recent development of power generation, or we can say all India installed capacity in megawatt for power generation as on dated 31/3/2017. So here if we talk about this, then we simply says that the thermal power plant based on the coal, gas and diesel, or with the region, or we can say by the different areas, we can say the state government, private government and central government. So state government and private sector and central government which are installed with installed capacity is available over here in the coal, in gas and diesel and grand total of the thermal power plant. So by the different the state government, the capacity of the thermal power plant is 7230.38 megawatt. Same thing we can say the private sectors, which is the installed capacity or 84196.68. Central governments have a 61825.83. So total amount of electricities which are produced from the thermal power plants is 218329.9 megawatt by the different region, by state, private and central government. Same thing, the electricities are produced with the help of nuclear, or we can say nuclear power plant, it is 6780. Same thing for hydro energy, we can see total amount of 4478.42, and renewable energy sources, that is the 50,018 megawatt powers are produced with the help of renewable energy sources, which are we can say produced by the state and private sector. There is no involvement of the central government. Same thing, if you see, this is the grand total of the region wise. So total amount of electricities we can produce in India, or installed capacity of India in power generation is 319606.31 megawatt. So this is all about the power plant capacity in India up to the dated on 31/3/2000. This data is captured from the www.cae.nic.india reports on dated 31/3/2017. Now in this slide you can see in form of the pie chart, there is a thermal power plant where the electricities are power is generated, or electricities are produced the 88% electricity are produced from the coal, 12% are produced from the gas, and maybe approximately small amount of electricity are produced with the help of diesel power plant. Same thing, all India installed capacity in megawatt for the power station. So 68% electricities are produced in the thermal power plant, and we can say small amount 2% electricities in the India are produced from the nuclear, 14% are produced from the hydro, and 16% are produced from the renewable energy sources. So this amount of the energies are produced with the help of different resources in India. The same thing you can see the region wise the power generation in India. Then the 42% is electricity is are produced by the private sector, and 33% are produced electricity by the state government, and only 25% are produced by the central government. So here this is all about the power generation capacity and power generation about the power generation in India up to the 31/3/2017, and this is the taken from the central government side, and you can see this is the scenario in India. So this is all about the thermal power plant. Now, so this chapter is completed over here. Now you can see this is the highlights of this video lecture. In the first we see the modern thermal power plant layout, what is the different component of the layout. Second one, then the Rankine cycle, how the power plant works. Then method to increase the efficiency of Rankine cycle, how you improve the efficiency, or which things which affects on the efficiency of the thermal power plant. Then after cogeneration plant, what is the CHP cogeneration, how it is works, what is the type, then the different site selection, how the where the power plant should be located, which parameters which affects on the construction, and we can say working of the thermal power plant. Then the recent development of the power in India, in which the power plant is how many amount of power is produced or installed capacity in India with the help of the different data from the government side. So this is the all about the this is the first chapter of the modern thermal power plant. So thank you very much for seeing this video. Thank you, and thank you all.